In the following report, the names have been changed and some of the faces concealed for security reasons.
These North Korean Christians have endured hardship, suffering, separation from family and friends. They've experienced despair and hopelessness after living under an oppressive and reclusive regime that rules with an iron fist and that considers Christians enemies of the state.
One of the worst offenses for the government there is to become a Christian and to worship Christ over worshiping the state and the government and the Kim family.
Leaving North Korea is considered treason. People who are caught are repatriated from China and are often imprisoned in concentration camps, tortured, or even killed. Tae, a student at Underground University in Seoul, had escaped in 1985 because he heard there was freedom in China and South Korea. But he was returned to North Korea by Chinese authorities and put in prison. His wife was forced to divorce him.
I lost my identity as a citizen of North Korea. I was considered to have rejected my country and my parents after I left North Korea. I was not considered a human. I was called by a number in prison.
It was while in prison Tae came to Christ. He had heard the gospel from an elderly lady and saw a Bible when he escaped into China. While in prison, he prayed to become a Christian. Tae said it was too dangerous to take his children with him when he escaped again from North Korea in 1996. First to China, then South Korea in 2001. He prays not only for his family, but also for all North Koreans in the so-called Hermit Kingdom. He has a heart to bring the life-changing message of the gospel to them, which is why he came to Underground University, a ministry of Seoul, USA, and the Voice of the Martyrs, Korea.
I believe God has a plan for North Korean defectors who come to South Korea. It's important to do missionary work and send food and do humanitarian acts in North Korea. But it's also important to prepare North Korean defectors to be able to be trained and equipped in the gospel to go back there. It's also important to pray for our families in North Korea.
Tae married Shin in 2004. Shin was a widow when she left North Korea in 2003. Her daughter had also passed away prior to her leaving the country.
I left China in September of 2003, and the place I went, there were Christians, and they shared about God. It was the first time I heard about God in the Bible, and I didn't understand at first. They were very friendly, and I could feel the love, so I opened my heart to Christ. The North Korean government shut our eyes and ears to see or hear. And whenever someone goes to a country like China and accepts Christ, and when you come back and the authorities find out about that, they will send them to prison or kill them. So it's not free for us to hear.
At first, Shin didn't want Tae to have anything to do with ministry to North Koreans. She says it was just too dangerous.
I didn't want him to get hurt or into trouble. But since we got married, he continued his ministry to the North Korean people in China and South Korea. And people came to Christ through his ministry, and I was touched by his ministry and his behavior. Now I agree with his ministry, and that's why I joined UU.
Tae and Shin know the dangers of ministry in North Korea and are fully aware that many have been killed for their faith in Christ.
I pray God will be with me so I don't fear about my ministry, but I am careful about my security.
Through UU, I learned about people who have died for Christ in the martyr's life. I do have fears. It's not easy for me to dedicate my life to Christ. I'm willing to take the chance and go to North Korea to spread the gospel and take the consequences.
Tae says the teaching about Christian martyrs, past and present, at Underground University has prepared him to give his life if necessary.
It's not that I enjoy to die, but I will deal with it when the time comes.
Peck was a city politician in a North Korean city near the Chinese border. She personally witnessed the problems the country was experiencing with massive starvation.
There was trouble with the food. Up to 80 people were dying every day in the city. There was no freedom. When Kim Il-sung died, people began to have thoughts that this dictatorship wouldn't work.
After the death of her husband, Peck escaped North Korea, and in 2002 made her way to South Korea, where she would start going to church, at first just to receive help like food. But after 5 years of hearing sermons and reading and studying the Bible, she came to faith in Jesus Christ, and shortly afterward signed up as a student with Underground University.
I came to UU to know God deeply, so I may know real truth, and I will know God better. Through the UU classes, I know I have a special vocation from God. I joined the domestic ministry organized by my church, and I've gone to different places to share the love of God in South Korea. I know the truth about God, and I want to explain it to others in North Korea. I've been through the systems, and I know it'll be difficult for them, as it was for me to know Christ because of the brainwashing by the authorities, but I can share because I've been through it.
Like so many North Koreans who have escaped to South Korea, Peck still has family in the north. This wall blocks the Freedom Bridge between the two countries. People leave messages for those they care about on the other side of the wall. There is hope that someday all Koreans will be united. Peck is concerned not only for her family and friends in North Korea, but also the Christians in the country who are paying a high price to follow Jesus. That high price includes martyrdom and imprisonment in labor camps.
Their work and sacrifice is incredible. It's for God, and I admire them, and I want to be like them.